In this video, we will briefly learn about the semiconductor materials. The semiconductor materials are mainly used for manufacturing electronic devices like transistor, diode, and the integrated circuit. So, if anyone wants to learn about the basic semiconductor devices, the first of all needs to understand a little bit about the semiconductor materials. So first of all, let us understand why the semiconductor are used in the electronics. And to understand, the first of all, let's see the classification of the material in terms of the conductivity. So the materials are classified into three categories: conductor, insulator, and the semiconductor. Now for any material, the conductivity defines how easily the material allows the flow of charge, and this conductivity is measured in Siemens per meters. So the conductor has very good conductivity, or we can say that whenever the voltage is applied to the conductor, then it allows the example silver, copper, gold, and aluminum are few example of the conductors. If we take the example of copper, then the conductivity is roughly 10 to the power 7 Siemens per meter. On the other hand, if we see any insulator, then it hardly allows any flow of charge, or we can say that this insulator has very poor conductivity. The wood, glass, Teflon are the few example of the insulator. And if we take the example of dry wood, then the conductivity is roughly around 10 to the power minus 14 Siemens per meter. So wood is a very good insulator. On the other hand, if take case of then its conductivity is between the insulator and the conductor. So whenever the voltage is applied to the semiconductor, then it allows the moderate amount ID current, and moreover that by adding the impurities, the conductivities of the semiconductor material can be changed, and the property is very useful for designing the various electronic devices. So silicon, germanium, and the gallium arsenide for the few example of the semiconductors materials. And here we will understand the behavior of the semiconductor by taking the example of silicon, which is extensively used in the electronic industry. Now the atomic number of this silicon is 14. So if we see the atomic structure of this silicon, it has 14 protons and the 14 electron. 14 proton reside in the nucleus, and the 14 electron rotate around the nucleus. And if you see the outermost orbit of the silicon, then it has 4 electron. We can say that the silicon has 4 valence electrons. Now whenever the silicon atoms combine to form a solid, then they arrange themselves in a particular pattern which is known as the crystal. And this crystal structure is silicon atom shares its 4 electron with the neighboring atoms, and the sharing of electron happens in such way that each silicon atom has 8 valence electron, and in this way, by sharing electron, these silicon atoms form the covalent bond. Now at the temperature just above the 0 degree Kelvin, due to the thermal energy, the atoms in the silicon crystal starts vibrating, and due to this vibrating, some of the electrons may get enough energy, they can break this covalent bonds, and by breaking this bond, this electron will act as a free electron, so at room temperature. Such free electron in this silicon structure. Now whenever this electron departs from its position, then it creates a vacancy that particular position, and this vacancy is known as hole. We know that the charge of electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb, and it has a negative charge. By not having electron at particular position creates a positive charge, and this positive charge is known as the hole. The hole can attract to other free electron which are roaming in this shown in the figure. Let's say this silicon structure, these 2 electrons are at the free electrons, and due to these 2 free electrons, these 2 holes have been created. Now let's say the electron gets recombined with this hole. So it gets recombined with this hole, then equivalent silicon structure will look like this. and here let's say due to thermal energy this electron becomes free and gets recombined with this hole. In this way, for any silicon structure at room temperature, the generation and the recombination of holes electron happens continuously. And one more thing, if you observe, for every generated electron the hole create also vacancy generated electron. Holes and electrons are created in the silicon structure. And one more thing, if you observe, as the electron are moving from one place to other place, the holes are also moving from one place to other place. So in semiconductor we get a flow of current due to two types of charges. One is due to electron and second due to the holes. And the biggest difference between conductor and the semiconductor, because in the case of conductor we used to get flow of current only due to electron. This semiconductor can be classified into two categories. One is an intrinsic semiconductor and other is a extrinsic semiconductor. So intrinsic semiconductor is a pure semiconductor without any kind of impurity atoms. So if we take case of silicon crystal, then in the intrinsic semiconductor all the atoms would be silicon atoms. On the other hand, in the extrinsic semiconductor, the external impurities are added to change the conductivity of this semiconductor, and the process of adding these impurities is known as the doping. Doping the semiconductor, we can change the conductivity of semiconductor materials, and by changing the conductivity we can control this semiconductor to behave a specific manner. This is the reason these semiconductor materials are preferred in the electronic industry. So depending on the type of impurity or the dopant, the extrinsic semiconductor can be further classified as p-type or n-type semiconductor. So in case of p-type semiconductor, the travalent atoms are added with the silicon atoms. Now the travalent atoms mean these atoms have 3 electrons in outermost orbit, and the aluminium, boron and the gallium are the few example of this travalent atoms. So since the travalent atoms have 3 electrons in the outermost orbit, the 3 electrons are shared with the neighboring atoms, but still if you see, the one vacancy remains in outermost orbit, and due to this vacancy we can say that the holes is created in the silicon atoms. Every travalent atoms creates one hole. In this way, by adding the travalent atoms we can create an excessive amount of holes in the crystal structure, and these travalent atoms are known as the acceptor atoms, because each hole which is created by the atoms can accept the external free electron. Similarly, by adding the pentavalent impurities, the n-type semiconductor can be formed. So in the pentavalent atom there are 5 electrons in the outermost orbit, and the few example of pentavalent atoms are arsenic, antimony and the phosphorus. So whenever the pentavalent atoms is added with the silicon atoms, then out of the 5 electron, the 4 electron of these pentavalent atoms will be get shared with the neighboring atoms, but still if you see the 1 electron in the valence orbit, so this electron will act as a free electron and it can roam around in the crystal structure. So we can say that each pentavalent atom creates the 1 free electron. So by adding these pentavalent impurities we can create a excessive amount of electrons in the crystal structure. So in case p-type semiconductor there is excessively amount of holes, while in case of n-type semiconductor there is excessive amount of electron. So in n-type semiconductor the electron will be majority carriers while the hole will be minority carriers. Similarly, in case of p-type semiconductor the holes will be majority carriers and the electrons will be minority electron, meaning that whenever apply the voltage p-type semiconductor, then the majority of current which will get is because whenever apply voltage source to this p-type semiconductor, then the holes will get attract toward the negative terminal while the electron will get attracted the positive terminals. but a number of electrons are less in p-type semiconductor, the majority of hole the current we will get the is due to the holes. Similarly, in the n-type semiconductor, whenever we apply voltage source, then electron will attracted toward the positive terminal and hole will get attracted toward the negative terminal, and the majority of flow of current is due to the electron.